Hello and welcome to On a Positive Note. I'm Jonas Kane. The world is often quick to point out what's wrong, without any consideration for what's right, which is why this podcast focuses on positive news stories from around the world so we can be inspired and encouraged to boldly step forward to make a positive impact in our own communities. So, on a positive note, let's begin with the joke about the Amazon Prime driver who was recently fired because he was always delivering packages late. But the story doesn't end there. He tried to start up a new career as a comedian, but that didn't work out either, because he still needs to work on his delivery. Get it? Because he was bad at delivering packages and jokes? Okay, so maybe my delivery needs work too, but this joke does contain two morals. First, it reminds us that no matter where we go, there we are. Meaning, maybe delivery in any context just isn't in the cards for this person, and it's best to figure out what work would actually be best suited. But it also, perhaps, suggests that delivery isn't always about the one doing the giving. It's also about the receiver. With the recent release of the new Tom Hanks movie, A Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, there's been a resurgence of talk about Mr. Rogers, and one of the interviews I recently stumbled upon was an interview with Mr. Rogers on Charlie Rose, and there was one thing that Mr. Rogers said that really struck a chord with me. He said, "I want to learn how to be the best receiver I can be, because I think that graceful receiving is one of the most wonderful gifts we can give anybody. If we receive what somebody gives us in a graceful way, we've given that person, I think, a wonderful gift." And this brings us to today's top positive news story, which comes to us from Middletown, Delaware, where one Kathy Oma decided to brighten the day for the delivery drivers that came to her house by leaving a basket of snacks and drinks on her porch with a note that read, "Please take some goodies to enjoy on your route. Thank you for making holiday shopping easy." Unbeknown to Kathy, on this particular day, an Amazon Prime driver by the name of Kareem Earl Reed III happened to have forgotten his lunch at home and was not feeling particularly well until he delivered some packages to Kathy's house. Upon seeing the kind gesture, Kareem became visibly excited, saying, "Oh, this is nice. Oh, they got some goodies. Wow. Oh, this is sweet. Oh, wow. Get out of here." And then, after picking up some snacks, Kareem walked back to his truck with a celebratory victory dance. And we know all of this because the whole thing was caught on the surveillance footage from Kathy's state-of-the-art doorbell made by Ring. Footage that not only made Kathy smile, but made over 2 million viewers smile too when the video went viral on social media. Not long afterwards, Kareem reached out to Kathy to thank her for her thoughtfulness, saying, "Miss Kathy Oma, I'm glad I could make you smile. May the divine bless you always for your kindness." Now that, my friends, all around, is truly how we receive gracefully. This story hit home for me because a number of years ago I had a part-time job delivering newspapers for a local paper. Now typically, you either work the daily route or you work the Sunday route. But the person who delivered the daily paper ended up quitting, so I was left working 7 days a week delivering papers for not just one route, but 2 routes. It was a hectic schedule that left me roaming the streets of town in the middle of the night when everyone else was still asleep. But it became extra difficult come November and December when the snowstorms began to hit. And despite the snow, people still want their morning paper, so I'd have to bundle up, brave the elements, clench my fists around the steering wheel, and make a go of it every day just so people could get their 50-cent newspaper. Under such conditions, it was really a challenge to stay positive because on the best of days, I was just exhausted. And on the worst of days, it felt like I was actually risking my life. But then, One day in December, something amazing happened. I dropped off a newspaper at someone's house, and there was a card there left for me. Then at the next house, I'd find a tin of cookies. At another stop, I'd find a wreath with my name on it. And another stop, I found a box of chocolates. And this happened at nearly every stop that morning. Despite being tired, despite feeling that I'm perhaps putting my life in danger senselessly, I found a profound sense of joy in my work that day. And even though I never actually met any of the customers on that route, I really felt a human connection with all of them that day, and truly every day moving forward. That's the power of a simple act of kindness, of thoughtfulness. And perhaps the reason it hit me so hard was because it was so unexpected, which made me appreciate it even more. I was just doing my job, delivering newspapers to people I would never meet, and yet they went out of their way to receive those deliveries well. On a positive note, I'd like to leave you with the thoughts of Mr. Rogers. To learn how to be the best receiver we can be, because graceful receiving is one of the most wonderful gifts we can give others. What can you do in your own life, in your own family, in your own community, to be a more graceful receiver? I hope that you've enjoyed today's episode, and I encourage you to leave a rating and subscribe to this podcast, as that's truly the best way to let others know about this positive resource. If you have any comments or stories that you'd like to share with our listeners, you can send an email to me directly at jonas@#positivity.com, and that email is also in the description of today's episode. Until next time, my name is Jonas Kane, and this has been another episode of On a Positive Note.